Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Great Quarantini. You know, I was thinking this weekend about how much time I spend practicing with cards and my magic so that it looks hopefully magical to you. I'll tell you a little secret. It's not real magic. Everything I do is I'm able to do because of a manipulation of the cards, of the silks, of the ropes, of the coins. So it looks magical, but the concept of what I have to do is practice with my cards enough in different ways to make it look to you like what I'm doing is actual magic and not some other trick of some sort. So what I do a lot is I spend time even watching a ball game, back when we used to have ball games, and just in my hands I'm practicing with the cards or whatever. And I was thinking, you know, as a child, I used to do something which I didn't think of as magic then. It was just a pastime, something that I would do to occupy myself. I can remember being over at my grandmother's house and sitting at her dining room table and constructing a house of cards, right? Like the TV show that was on a couple of years ago. And I can remember she had a tablecloth sort of like this. And just you would sit there and you would spend time leaning them all together and constructing. And I think back then I even was able to do a second level of it, but I haven't practiced enough with that in a long time, but we used to. And it was fun, and then what would happen, of course, Big Brother would come along and say, gee, Dale, that's pretty neat, look. Oh, I'm sorry, I touched your cards. Oh, did I get so mad at him when he would do that? So it's just a matter of spending some time learning how to get cards to do what you want them to do. And, you know, it's not always easy. It's not always something that you can do right away, but it takes practice. So I hope, you know, maybe you don't know, maybe you haven't ever done this before, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you take a card and you line it up, it takes, and I'll tell you, there's a couple of secrets to it. There's some gravity and there's some friction, a little static electricity, and you kind of light it up together, and you can get the cards, hopefully, to stand up just by, see? And you take a little time, and then you do the next layer, and you put another one on like this. And you can slowly build your deck, your house of cards, by leaning them against each other, right? And that's the way it works. But the magic, of course, is when you take away some of the supports, and the card is still there. Now that, my friends, is magic. Now, watch again. We'll take it and we'll rub it on the table, get some support behind it. But they still stand afterwards. That's the magic. So I'll tell you a little secret. It's not what you think. It's actually, if you bend the card first, and I don't show you that I'm doing this, but I bend it a little bit. And then when it's bent, see, you can just stand it up on its own. The bend in the card, of course, makes it easy, but you don't see that. So when I do a trick like this, and I kind of set it up, and I say, look, if I set it up on its own like this, right? You don't realize it's the bend in the card that makes it happen. Can you understand that? Seriously, though, it's not that. It's not a bend in the card at all. What it is, it's actually a gimmick that's built into the cards. So if I take a card, let me show you. I can rip it out here a little bit. Now you can see what happens, right? So now I take the card, rub it on the table, it'll get some static electricity there, and then try to set it up here. And you can see that it can stand on its own because of the magical gimmick. In fact, it's so powerful that I can take the gimmick itself and rub it in a little bit, and I can put that in here, and I can sometimes get the gimmick to stand up on its own. But let me just show you again. If I rip out a little more of the card, makes it even harder, of course. Now you can see how hard it would be with less static. It's not going to be so easy to get it to stand there. But I work on it enough and it still works. So it takes some practice, folks. Let me tell you that. It's not something that happens right away. But if you spend some time putting your cards against each other, hold it up a little bit, you too can do a magic trick. Just play around with your cards a little. So I hope you enjoyed this little experiment. It brings back some fond memories of me back when I was a child and I used to build my own house of cards. Maybe you can build one too. Thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you tomorrow. Please stay safe out there.